Hello, and welcome to another episode of my 30 plus decks. Today I'm going to be using one that's definitely an upgraded Precon of a Fallout pre-constructed deck, and that one was from the Science Commander. And so it did start off with a Dr. Madison Lee, and it had a backup commander of Liberty Prime. And then shortly after, we had Modern Horizons 3, which also had a commander deck. I think that one was the Satya pre-constructed deck. I ended up not buying that deck. I pulled Satya in the not pre-release. I just did a draft with friends. That's what it was. And I ended up getting a Satya Aetherflux Genius. And since I already had the deck and I had a number of cards from Modern Horizons 3, I decided to just go ahead and make him my new commander and upgrade the deck accordingly. So he is a 4-cost, 3/5, and it is 1 red, white, blue. So that is Jeskai. That's 3/5 Menace Haste. Whenever he attacks, I create a tapped and attacking token. That's a copy of up to one other target non-token creature I control. You get 2 energy, and at the beginning of my next end step, I sacrifice that token unless I pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. So the best ones in the deck would be, I guess, a personal favorite is Sad Robot, or Solemn Simulacrum. And that one, when it enters the battlefield, I get a basic land, and when it dies, I draw a card. And so if I can have Satya attack more freely, and I make a tapped and attacking token of Solemn Simulacrum, the token entering has me search for a basic land that goes on the battlefield tapped, and then at the end of my turn I will choose not to pay 4 energy, and I'll just bank the 2 that I get here, and I sacrifice the token and draw a card, because that's just how the card works. Some of the other better ones are creatures that when they enter the battlefield I get energy. There's a creature that enters the battlefield and I get energy equal to the number of non-token... No. The number of artifact creatures I control, that's the one. And so if I have a decent enough number, and that one's a 4-cost, so if I have 4 or more artifact creatures, I can just keep on making this guy bigger and bigger and bigger. And I guess the other ones would be like, there's a couple of cheap ones. That's maybe like 1 and a red, so a 2-cost, that when it enters, I get 2 energy. And so if I make a copy of that one, it's not only cheap to pay for that 2 energy, but this ability gives me that 2 energy anyway, so I'm able to not only consistently make copies of that guy, or I guess those guys, I'm pretty sure there's a couple, and I can make token copies of them and keep them around and bank energy as well. So this is a fun one. Artifacts, just things happening, and like I have mentioned, it is a upgraded Fallout deck. So it does have a number of cards that are from the Fallout deck. That's why I've got this. It's still kept some of the heart and theme. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. That looks decent. So let's just jump right in. I really enjoyed this deck. This one's a great one. Let's start off with, oh cool, all of these lands are tap lands. So let's start off with the best of them. Go with the beginning. Draw. Oh, works for me. Path of Ancestry. Enters tapped. Pass. Untap. Keep draw. Here we go. So I will go Mystic Monastery. Enters tapped. I pass. Turn 3. Untap, upkeep, draw. And I could go... Nope. They keep on entering tapped. So let's go with a Razortide Bridge. Enters tapped. It's an indestructible artifact land. Then I will go ahead and tap these 2. And I will cast a Thought Vessel. So I have no maximum hand size, and it taps for a colorless. And let's keep on going. Turn 4. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. I'm going to go with this land. It enters tapped as well. It would enter untapped if I had a mountain or a plains, but I don't. So I have 4 to work with. I could easily get out my commander, but there's just that one thing. That's not the worst thing. Okay. Here's where we're going. Ooh, actually, let's go something like this. White and 1. Metastatic Evangel. It's a 3/1 Phyrexian human cleric. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under my control, proliferate. This one's great. It's going to be red and blue. And I will... You know what? Actually, let me back that up just a little bit. This one's still tapped. When I'm casting Metastatic Evangel, I'm actually going to tap this Path of Ancestry for the white and 1. So the Metastatic Evangel, being a Phyrexian human cleric, shares a creature type with my human artificer commander. I will look at the top, and I like that card. Let's keep it up top. Then that will be this for a blue and this for a red to cast Izzet Generatorium. If I would get 1 or more energy, I get that many plus 1 energy instead. I can tap it to draw a card, activate only if I have paid or lost 4 or more energy this turn. Let's go to turn 5. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Now, I already knew what I was going to draw. I might just miss my land drop this turn. That's alright. It's not really alright, but... Well, let's go for it. Red, white, blue, and 1. Let's untap this Mystic Monastery. So red, white, blue, and 1. Satya. Because of Path of Ancestry, I will scry 1. I like that card. I will declare attack with Satya as a 3/5 Menace Haste, making a tapped and attacking token copy of Metastatic Evangel, and I get 2 energy, but that, because of Izzet Generatorium, becomes 3 energy. Let's switch these around, yeah. And I'm assuming that the copy will die. It's only a 3/1. And so I just get 3 energy. Let's go to turn 6. On tap. Upkeep. Nothing. Draw. Let's go with the plains. There we go. Let's go like this. Blue. Blue. And 1, 2, 3. To cast Inexorable Tide. It was this deck that it just had so much energy, and I think that I put in some 1/1 counters and just other counters, and now it can proliferate whenever I cast a spell. So it was, I think in the other video I was mentioning, I didn't know which deck the Inexorable Tide came in, and I was thinking that it could have come in this one. It came in the Mothman, and so I just got one for this deck as well. It just works in both. And with that, I don't always have to attack with Satya. Right now, 3/5 Menace, it's turn 6. I expect them to have blockers, so let's just go to this final turn. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Okay. I have 6 to work with. As far as it goes, I have a Behemoth of Vault 0, which is a 6-cost 6/6 trample. When it enters, I get 4 energy, which would be 5 energy. It would be a 6th energy because that's me casting a spell, so I proliferate the one I already have. And it would be a non-token creature entering the battlefield under my control, so I'd get a 7th energy. For 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'd be at 9. No, I would be at even more. 10, 11, 12. I'd be at crazy energy just by this Behemoth. When it dies, I may pay an amount of energy equal to target non-land permanent's mana value when I do destroy that permanent. So it could be something like pay all out, get this guy, make a bunch of energy. I could swing with Satya, make even more energy, and then even more energy. And when he dies, I pay some amount to just destroy something of someone's. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, just all around great card. I could pay it and then make a food and then even crack that food to make a treasure, tapped treasure. Mirror Box is a great one because I do have legendaries in this deck, so it makes it to where the legend rule doesn't apply to permanents I control. Each legendary creature I control gets +1/+1, so that would buff Satya. And each non-token creature I control gets +1/+1 for each other creature I control with the same name as that creature. So if I was starting to make more metastatic evangels with Satya, I could get them to be +1/+1 and continually +1/+1 for each other one that I had. I have a dispatch, which right now I have enough artifacts. 1, 2, 3 is my land. I could exile target creature instead of just tapping it, and I did just draw into Wake the Past. It doesn't really have a good use for me. Return all artifacts cards from my graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until the end of turn. I don't have any graveyard right now, so I just have that as a backup. As far as just what would be cool, since I've already talked it out, let's go Behemoth of Vault 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this Behemoth. On cast, I Proliferate, which is getting me an energy, which would be getting me 2 energy because of Is It Generatorium. It enters the battlefield. I get 4 energy, which is 5 energy because of Is It Generatorium. So I'm up to 10. And then that's a non-token creature entering the battlefield under my control. So I Proliferate. So that's going to be another 2. So I'm up to 12. And I will move to combat. Swing with Satya. Make a token copy of this Behemoth of Vault 0. When token I'll continue with the trigger. I get 2 energy, which becomes 3 energy. And then the copy enters the battlefield or has that trigger resolve. I get 4 energy, which is 5 energy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just went from 3 energy to 20. And no matter what happens with this, I'm probably just going to not pay that 6. So he's going to die, and I can pay any amount of energy to just destroy something of someone's. And it's turn 7. That could be any number of things. So that's pretty freaking cool. I like this deck. I have made a number of adjustments to it, and let's just go for this next game. Yeah. There were so many cool, good cards that just came out with the Modern Horizons 3 set. Big shocker there, you know. Who would have guessed it that a modern set would have good cards? But they brought back energy, and I've used these energy cards, some of these energy cards to, I guess this deck started off as energy, and I make it even better. There was a, which one was it? It's Obeka, Splitter of Seconds. I added energy to, and that one has really benefited from that. And white decks with Guide of Souls can just... I think that this is actually one of the decks that I have a Guide of Souls in, because I do own another one. Oh, come on. Stay with me. These are cheap sleeves. I know. I got them for Christmas, which is why I'm using them. I'll upgrade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Especially this deck. I love this deck. I will get better sleeves. I already have upgraded the deck box. Got a sweet freaking Ultra Pro deck box. It's where the kind of divider that I started the game was from too. This, I guess, is one of the other altar arts for Satya. I don't know. I think that it's kind of funny that this guy has a beanie and this guy doesn't. Yeah, I just I just think it's silly. Hipster Satya. Nothing bad about it. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let's go turn 1. Game 2. Draw. Very cool. I think that I will start off with more tapped lands. Path of Ancestry. pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Cool. Let's go with a... Actually, what would I like to go with? Maybe... Oh, it's kind of silly. You know, making these kinds of, like, stalled turns or being kind of in the tank this early on. I have an Everflowing Chalice, so I could just do that for 2 mana and get it out with 1 counter. I do have Proliferation in the deck, a little bit. T45 Power Armor could also be something that gets me energy. That one's later, that one's later, that one's later. My lands, this one enters tapped unless I have 2 or more basic lands. I have a basic land, and I have Myriad Landscape, which I could have as my land for turn, getting the 2 basic lands that share a type next turn. So I really am... Yeah, I'm thinking I'll just do a little bit of slow beginning. Myriad Landscape enters tapped. I go to this third turn, draw. Let's go with this mountain, tap 2, crack this Myriad Landscape, and I have blue cards in hand, so let's just search for 2 islands. And they both go on the battlefield tapped. Man, if I had chosen plains, I just went past 3 plains. Holy cow. Really, that entire half did not have a single basic plains. Did I say plains? Island. I passed by 2 plains. I'm choosing island. Even if I said plains, pretty sure I said island. And if I didn't, that's what I meant. That's what I'm doing. There we go. 2 blue. Tapped. And go to turn 4. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Very neat. It's going to be a Prairie Stream enters tapped unless I control 2 or more basic lands, which now I've got 3 because of that sequencing. I could go... Honestly, that's not a bad idea, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 to cast Everflowing Chalice with 2 charge counters on it because it was kicked twice. And then I will tap it for 2 and cast T45 Power Armor. When this enters, I get 2 energy. It's equipped for 3. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And at the beginning of my upkeep, I may pay an energy, and if I do, I untap the equipped creature, then put my choice of a menace, trample, or lifelink counter on it. There we go. Turn 5. Untap, upkeep, draw. Very neat. Let's go with a Sulphur Falls. Enters tapped unless I control an island or a mountain. I've got both. Let's go white, blue, red, and 1 with 1 floating. Casting Satya. That 1 floating. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And I will equip the T45 Power Armor onto Satya, making him a 6/8 Menace Haste. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I like it. Let's go to turn 6. I don't really need to attack because I don't have any other creatures to copy. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Interesting. Very. Let's go Temple of Epiphany. Scry 1. Swords to Plowshares. I like Swords to Plowshares. Let's go with blue and 2. Thirst for Knowledge. I draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Then I discard 2 cards unless I discard an artifact card. And I think right now I don't need Lightning Greaves. I know, I'm crazy, but that's okay. Let's go with... Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to work with. Let's tap Everflowing Chalice for an Arcane Signet. Let me actually do this because I kind of want to do that. I actually should have done that this turn. I could have used an energy, and I think that I will. I'm going to put a lifelink counter on Satya, I guess. He already has Menace, so it could be either lifelink or trample. And man, which one should I go? Or should I not yet? So right now, I'm just a little bit stalled. I have a mechanized production, which is great. It could enchant an artifact I control, which is either my equipment, my Arcane Signet, or my Everflowing Chalice. My Chalice is probably the worst choice. The equipment would be getting me more energy every upkeep whenever it enters, but mechanized production is, at the beginning of my upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then, if I control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, I win the game. So I could enchant this equipment, and as long as I got like 10 treasures or 10 clues, 10 foods, whatever, something like that, it does not have to be the same artifact as the one that's enchanted. As long as I have just those 8 or more artifacts of the same name, I win. So that goes a little bit unnoticed a lot of the time. Typically, I would put it on something that's like an indestructible artifact. If I had one of those indestructible artifact lands, that would just be that. I have a win with the machine. Right now, 2 is my greatest. Behemoth of Vault 0 came back to my hand, so I could just wait around and cast that next turn. I got another Terramorphic Expanse, but I played my land this turn. I got the swords just as a card. Yeah, I really don't want to pay 4 to draw 2. Mechanized production on my equipment isn't bad, because that could be continuous energy, and if continually equipped would just be more and more +3/+3, which is awesome, especially since I'm probably going to be giving him trample soon. Let's just tap that. Go with a mechanized production on this equipment. Very interesting. Now there's technically 2 upkeep triggers. It's going to go final turn for this second game. Untap. Upkeep. I have 2 upkeep triggers, so that's going to first be I pay this energy to give him trample. So now he is a lifelink, trample, menace, haste, 6/8. And then I will make a token copy of the T45 power armor, which when that enters makes me 2 more energy. And then I will draw. Okay. Terramorphic Expanse. Let's crack it. Search for a plains. Goes tapped. And a shuffle. Now I could do... I'm probably going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's awesome. So here's what's probably going to happen. Here's what's definitely going to happen. Shuffle. Stop it. Silly sleeves. Just get air in them. There we go. So, I'm going to tap this for 2. And this one for a 3rd. And equip the copy to Satya. Making him, let's see, that's 3, 6, 9. 9. That's a 9, 11. Menace, trample, lifelink, haste, which haste doesn't even matter. And then I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And cast Behemoth of Vault 0. When he enters the battlefield, I will get 4 energy. And then I will move to combat. I will swing with Satya as a 9/11 lifelink trample menace. On declaration of attack, I will make a tapped and attacking copy of my Behemoth of Vault 0. When it attacks, I will make when it enters the battlefield, I will make 4 more energy. And that will be at least that 9 trample menace lifelink. And the 6/6 trample. End step, no matter what happens, whether he died through combat or dies right now, he will be sacrificed, and I have up to 10 energy to pay towards whatever. Destroying whatever. Past that, my next turn would probably be a 1 with the machine to draw 6 cards. I have a Swords to Plowshare and a Dispatch with well more than 3 artifacts. Yeah, this is a machine. On my upkeeps, I could also order it to have the T45 power armor enter the battlefield to give me the 2 energy before the triggers to untap and put more menace counters on him. I don't know. He already has menace. He already has trample and lifelink. Yeah, that was cool. Getting 9 power is pretty great with Satya. The only problem with that game in my mind was I did not have other creatures out until that Behemoth in that last turn, so it really was just Satya as a blocker. Like him attacking, I can't make a copy of him. It specifically says up to 1 other target non-token creature I control, so I cannot choose him. But that's not the end of the world. Let's hope that this 3rd game shows off just some fun creatures with cool ETBs or death effects or both. Yeah. Let's get some cool energy combos. Let's get some Guide of Souls or something. I don't know. Let's just show off this deck. Now, like I have mentioned, I did not buy the Satya Precon. That one was from Modern Horizons 3 Commander, so they were a little bit more pricey. But man, that one came with like a Gaunty Aether Heart or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one came with a lot of really good cards for energy decks. So I was a little bit, hesitant and really kind of wanted to buy it, but ended up not. Anyways, let's go. Turn 1 of this last game. Terramorphic Expanse. I really like that. Let's crack it and search for an island. Here we go. Shuffle. And go to turn 2. Yeah. Alright. 2. Now, one thing that's very interesting about this deck is there were a couple of vehicles from that Fallout deck. Untap, upkeep, draw. And with Satya, if I make a vehicle into a creature and then I copy it because of Satya, I now have a vehicle that is not crewed, that's tapped and attacking, but now it's no longer a creature, so it's not attacking at all. It's kind of weird how that works, but that's how it works. Tapping 2, Thought Vessel, and I'm mentioning that because I have the Pride Win, which when another art, it's great to keep around, but it's only it's not something that I'm going to be copying. Let's just say that. Unless I had a cool entry effect, I don't think that I'm going to be copying. Let's go to turn 3. Untap, upkeep, draw. Ooh, that's awesome. Let's go with this mountain. Let's go with this Thought Vessel to cast a Soul Ring, which I just drew into. And then I'll tap that Soul Ring to cast a Mind Stone. And then I will go red, white, blue, and 1 for Satya. That was a crazy good draw. Oh my gosh. Because I had red, white, blue, Mind Stone, and Thought Vessel. These were in my opening hand. So I was like, I am good with this. Just drew into a Soul Ring. Oh my goodness. And the Terramorphic Expanse was my turn 1 draw, so I do have an extra island in my hand. Let's go to turn 4. Oh my gosh, this one just popped off like that. Draw. That works better than just a basic island, so Glacial Fortress enters tapped unless I control a plains or an island. I got both. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go blue, tap Soul Ring for 2, and cast a Whirler Rogue. When Whirler Rogue enters the battlefield, I create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter creature tokens. And they have flying. I can tap 2 untapped artifacts I control to have target creature unblockable until the end of turn. So I guess I will tap Mind Stone and Thought Vessel because they're untapped and I don't have any other use for them. I could. So I will actually live those up. Let's use these Thopters for their intended purpose. Tap them. Satya is unblockable this turn. Declaration of attack. Satya will swing. Make a token copy of my Whirler Rogue. And when that Whirler Rogue enters, now I have 2 Thopters that are untapped, 2 Thopters that are tapped, and I have this copy of Whirler Rogue, which I could before I forget, 2 energy from Satya, and I cannot possibly keep this Whirler Rogue copy around because it's a 4 cost, and I only have the 2 energy, so I'm not even going to bother tapping Thopters and making it unblockable and making it easier to keep around. So it'll probably die. My commander being a 3/5 menace on turn 4 is great, so this one will die, that is fine, and I have 4 Thopters, a Whirler Rogue, and a good time. And the Whirler Rogue can even make someone else's creature unblockable, so I could even keep these around for that. These around for that, but Crush Contraband is what I have in my hand just to hold up. Choose one or both, exile target artifact or exile target enchantment. Let's go to turn 5. Man, it's crazy how good Soul Ring is. Anyways, ooh, I almost forgot my gimmick. I got a Soul Ring, which means I thought you were right there. Maybe you're right. Where is my gimmick? Aha! Aha! My gimmick. My gimmick. My masterpiece Soul Ring. Might as well proxy it in. Bam. So, untapping. Upkeeping. Nothing. Upkeep nothing. And I draw. Very nice. Land for turn. Let's go white and 1 for a Nahiri's Machinations. It's an enchantment that is at the beginning of combat on my turn. Target creature I control gains indestructible until the end of turn. And for 1 in a red, Nahiri's Machinations deals 1 damage to target blocking creature. Now this one I just love in a deck like this where I'm swinging with just my commander. It doesn't matter if he lands the attack or not. I'm making copies of better things. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I actually can't, can I? Very sad. That's alright. I just have the 1 plains, so I need the 2 white sources. That'll just be next turn, I guess, for Pride-Win. Now, currently, I have too much land, right? I could tap this one, hoping for the best, crack my Mind Stone, and I will draw a card. I guess tap Soul Ring for a Talisman of Conviction, and that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I don't have enough. Oh, that's alright. That's alright. Let's go ahead and go combat. Satya gets indestructible and is swinging. I could easily tap 2 artifacts in a number of places to give unblockable, but right now I think that just making a Whirler Rogue that is tapped and attacking and 2 more Thopters is awesome. I can just keep on doing that because it also gets me 2 energy. And I could technically tap these 2 Thopters, 2 of these Thopters, to have my Whirler Rogue unblockable. And then, hold on just a second. I'm not sure why that went to 6. It needs to be a 4. This is only the second time I've done it, right? Because that one entered, and then the copy, and then the copy. Yeah. End step, pay 4. So now I have 2 Whirler Rogues? No. Just thinking about it, it's not a tap ability. I can just do it as many times as I want with the 1. I guess that would just make it 2 things that you'd have to get rid of, but let's just go with this. Let's go to turn 6. Penultimate turn. That is 6 total. Thopters. Untap, upkey, draw. Planes. White, and 1. White, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go like that. And the Pride one. Steel Flagship. Crew 2, which is neat. 6/6 flying. Whenever another non-token artifact enters the battlefield under my control, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with this creature gets +2/+2 as long as an artifact enters the battlefield under my control this turn. So currently it does not have haste. I have ways to crew it, but like I was mentioning before, even if I swung and made that the token, it would be a tapped vehicle, not a creature, because it enters tapped and attacking, but not as a creature, so it's just not attacking. So I'd have a 6/6 Pride Win tapped, which would be 2 instances for the future of getting a non-token artifact. Makes me 2. It would then make me 2 1/1 knights. Maybe it's worth it, but that would also be all of my energy. Let's do it. What's there to lose? Let's tap you. Crew you. Satya is indestructible. Swing with Satya. Make a tapped and attacking Pride Win, which, as it enters, is no longer a creature, so it no longer is attacking. And crewing it wouldn't do anything to help with that situation. So I also get a 2 more energy because of the whole trigger. End step. Use all of those to keep the Pride Win around. And now let's move to this final turn and see if I can actually pull anything off. Because if I get 1 non-token artifact, I'd call that worth it. Yes. It's good enough. Soul Ring for 2, and then the third one through Thought Vessel. Endurance Bobblehead. So that enters the battlefield. I make 2. That is a non-token artifact entering, so I make 2 of these human knights that have +2/+2 as long as an artifact enter the battlefield under my control this turn. And the Bobblehead taps for 1 of any color. I can tap 3 and it up to X target creatures I control get +1/+0 and indestructible until the end of turn, where X is the number of Bobbleheads I control. Activate only as sorcery. Interesting. Which doesn't say bobbleheads of different kinds, which is great, just for mechanized productions, purposes. Anyways, swinging, I would probably... Well, that's kind of the funny thing is, both of my Pride Wins now, neither of them have Summoning Sickness because they both came out last turn. I could technically tap 4 Thopters. So I got 2 there and 4 there, 2 there, 2 untapped, 4 tapped to crew both Pride Winds. So I got Thopters crewing vehicles that are flying. Flying Thopters know how to fly best, right? And I could... How about better yet? Let's do something like this. These guys have summoning sickness. Let's tap both of them to crew a Pride Wind each. And then I will tap 6 Thopters, make Satya and both of my Pride Winds unblockable through Whirler Rogue. And then I will swing with Satya after choosing that it is the indestructible creature. Swing with Satya, both of my Pride Winds. And choosing... I could choose either another Pride Wind or another Whirler Rogue just to keep... I'm not going to keep either of them because I don't have that much energy. So let's go Whirler Rogue, which makes me 2 more untapped Thopters. Yeah, that's how you think about it. And as far as that goes, I could even tap 1, 2, 3 and the Endurance Bobblehead to give that token copy of Whirler Rogue indestructible and +1/+0. But that actually doesn't matter because it's going to be dead at the end of the turn anyways. Yeah. I can just give it to Satya, make it another +1 for Commander or something like that. Yeah, you already know that Crush Counterband was the only card in my hand. By the end, I was running out of card draw. That's land, that's Nuka-Cola vending machine. So as far as the future, that wasn't looking great. But as far as what I had out, that was solid until the board wipe happened, you know, as it happens. All right, I hope you guys stuck around. Hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like or drop a comment or whatever. Yeah, I'm still new at this, and I honestly just enjoy doing this. So if you enjoy watching me, let me know. Heck yeah. Sweet. I will see you guys in that next video. Later.